This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets. Oil prices settled lower on Friday, posting a weekly decline as traders worried interest rate hikes could sap demand despite signs of tighter supplies, including lower U.S. crude stocks. In a second straight day of losses, Brent crude closed down 29 cents, or 0.4%, to $73.85 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate, WTI, crude fell 35 cents, or 0.5%, at $69.16. On Thursday, Brent dropped about $3 a barrel after the Bank of England raised interest rates by a bigger-than-expected half a percentage point. Central banks in Norway and Switzerland also hiked rates. The benchmarks declined more than 3.5% for the week.
India's crude oil imports in May rose 2% from a year earlier, government data showed on Friday, on sustained buying of discounted Russian fuel to cater strong demand in the country. On a monthly basis, crude imports in May rose marginally to 20.04 million tons from 19.95 million tons in April, data from the website of the Petroleum Planning and Analysis Cell showed. Meanwhile, oil product imports rose 21% to 3.64 million tons in May from the previous month. Imports should still increase at a solid pace thanks to still rising domestic demand, said UBS analyst Giovanni Stanovo.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Sri Lanka is set to start bartering tea to Iran next month in lieu of $250 million owed for oil, a Sri Lankan official told Reuters on Friday, as the crisis-hit country tries to lift sales to a key market and protect its forex reserves. The barter was agreed in 2021 for oil imported in 2012, but the exchange was delayed after Sri Lanka's unprecedented dollar shortage last year plunged the economy into its worst financial crisis in more than 7 decades. This is very timely for us because we get access to an important market and both Iran and Sri Lanka can trade without relying on dollars, Sri Lanka's Tea Board chairman Niraj Dimel told Reuters.
The Indian government this week kicked off a multi-billion-dollar process seeking equity in its 3 big state refiners in return for funding towards the firm's energy transition projects, 3 sources familiar with the matter told Reuters. The Oil Ministry on Wednesday asked state-controlled Indian Oil Corp and Bharat Petroleum Corp Limited, BPCL, to launch rights issues, and asked Hindustan Petroleum Corp Limited, HPCL, to make a preferential share allotment to the government, the people said.
Next, we have the top news in metal markets.
Lithium producers are growing anxious that delays in mine permitting, staffing shortages and inflation may hinder their ability to supply enough of the battery metal to meet the world's aggressive electrification timelines. Once a niche metal used primarily in ceramics and pharmaceuticals, lithium is now one of the world's most in-demand metals given aggressive EV plans from Stellantis, Ford FN and other automakers. At stake is the pace with which electric vehicles could displace internal combustion engines, a key goal of the green energy transition.
Palladium could extend this year's near 30% price decline as the rapid rise of electric vehicles threatens to hammer demand for the auto catalyst metal at a time broader economic weakness and chart factors are also weighing. Spot palladium hit a 4-year low of $1,269.09 an ounce on Thursday, having fallen more than 60% from a record high of $3,440.76 scaled in 2022 as the war in Ukraine unfolded. SP Angel analyst John Meyer said that with global EV sales expected to reach around 15 million vehicles this year, sales of palladium, chiefly used to neutralize harmful car emissions, could be impaired by 1.5 million minus 2.25 million ounces. We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector. Mexican sugar production fell 15% in the current season, which is ending early due to a drought that has sapped crops and impacted yields, producers said Friday, citing official data. Mexico, which exports sugar to the United States, produced 5.22 million tons in the 2022-23 season, falling short of the most recent estimate of some 5.43 million tons, according to National Sugar Committee Kanadezuka. The previous harvest yielded 6.164 million tons, data from the committee showed.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.